Welcome back to the Secular Homeschool Revolution podcast. This is a space for progressive secular homeschoolers who are questioning the systems that we were taught, and we are reimagining what home education and parenting can look like when it is rooted in liberation and love and critical thinking and community care. I am your host, Ashley. If you are new here, I'm a homeschooling parent of 3 kids. I've been doing this a while. They are ages 13, 9, and 5. I'm also a co-founder of a homeschooling cooperative that focuses on a decolonized education that is secular and progressive and inclusive. And I also am a co-founder of a micro school. So I am, really all in, and I truly believe in alternative education. Today's episode is a mini episode, and I really wanted to bring you here so that we could talk about President's Day and all of the sales that we can get this weekend. Just kidding. But I do want to talk about President's Day and how I feel how we should actually discuss it with our kids. President's Day is usually offered to us as like this gift of an experience of like red, white, and blue everything. Like, wow, look at these iconic, great leaders. And without their leadership, America would be nothing. And we're looking at it from a decolonized equity lens, and we're saying, cool. You were president, but who paid the price for you to have that power? Who got displaced? Who was enslaved? You as a president, did you engage in human trafficking? Who was excluded from rights and land and safety and resources? And who resisted you during that time? Because we're nosy. We want to be in the business, right? And when we have the conversation that way, we're really creating a divide between myth making and critical history. And again, from those two different lenses, one's going to teach kids to admire power, to not question it. And the other one's going to teach kids how to analyze power. Because President's Day, it's basically like a yearly refresh that's shoved down our throats that presidents are heroic, our country's always improving, and that power is something you're supposed to respect and not question. And that's dangerous because that's not history, that's propaganda. And President's Day is national branding. It's PR. It is training kids to associate leadership with goodness so they don't ask hard questions, because the presidents, they got our best interests in heart. After all, we're all American. And so I'm not telling you to ignore President's Day. I'm telling you to unmask it. By ignoring it and treating it as something neutral or not worthy of acknowledging is harmful. So do not engage in harmful behavior by ignoring it. Teach your kids about the stories of the presidents and of this land, and so that they know how the story gets sold to us from a propaganda lens. So this is a mini episode, but I did want to offer you guys a quick activity. So have your kids pick one president that they're curious or interested in, and then have them ask these questions or answer them and research them. What policies did this president push? Who benefited from it? Who got harmed? And who resisted during that time? Right? Because we're getting a multi-dimensional look at this president. And we want to swap the language that was given to us, like expansion. Expansion westward, that was land theft. So we want to name it. That was land theft. And then like removal, that was not removal. That was forced displacement. And even break down law and order. Law and order basically means who got protected and who gets protected and who gets punished. So whenever you're seeing this come up through, your presidential research, swap the language. It's the same thing with slaves. No, that was human trafficking. Those were humans that did not deserve to be enslaved against their will. Swap the language. And also do something called a movement mirror. So during that presidency, what people were organizing, what were they organizing for? Because we have to understand that presidents rarely, and I can't think of anything on hand, do they gift justice, but they always force change. And speaking of people resisting power, my kids are heading to a student-led Ice Out protest with their co-op friends on Monday, and I am so proud because this is what real civic education looks like. This is hands-on learning. This is, walking the walk, and way better than reciting precedents in order, because young people recognizing harm, naming it, and organizing and showing up anyway is incredible. Mad applause to them. And before we go further, I do want to give a real shout out to students walking out of school to voice their power. That is beautiful. That is brave. And honestly, it's giving hope, because when young people are willing to risk getting in trouble to stand up for what's right, it should be telling us something. It should be reminding the rest of us that the future is not doomed. They are organizing and they understand that legality is not morality. So, man, snaps. My clocking fingers, all of it. And to the people who have sticks shoved up their butts saying they don't even know what they're walking out for, they're just looking for a good skip day. Shut up. Shut up. And y'all need to tell them to shut up, because that's grown people projecting their fear and ignorance, because what they're really saying is, I don't understand why you're doing this, what you're saying. This all feels big, scary. And instead of learning, I'm just going to dismiss you. Listen, students don't walk out because it's trendy. They walk out because something is burning. This country is on fire. They feel it in their communities. And too many adults keep demanding silence because they want to uphold school spirit and respect and propaganda. No, respect is earned. And these kids are practicing democracy with their whole chest. I couldn't think of anything more patriotic than that. Here are some resources I want to offer you guys. This one I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but Teaching for Black Lives is an incredible book to have, not just for President's Day or Black History Month, but it's an incredible resource that gives you lessons on how to lay out and teach power, systems, resistance, and truth. And it is definitely Decolonized, and it's by Rethinking Schools. I think this is one of those staple pieces that are just a foundational resource that everyone should have in their homeschooling library. My second and third resource both come from Zen Education Project. The first one is Missing from President's Day: The People That Were Enslaved, which, if you know anything about Zen Education Project, they are very decolonized. They don't teach anything that is whitewashed. And it gives a really good lesson on the President's Day storyline. It gives you the truth in the room, and it does not separate presidency from slavery. It lets you know it shaped it. And the next one is Question the President. Again, this is a President's Day reframe that teaches kids to critique the presidency and analyze power instead of worshiping it. So no, guys, we're not ignoring President's Day because it's all about, all these white guys and one black dude. We're not going to offer a sanitized version. We are going to teach our kids on President's Day to question power, to track outcomes, to choose people over myths, to look at the story from multiple point of views. And if your kids are already out there practicing that in real life like mine, then hell yeah, That's the revolution. And I want to remind you guys that this work is not easy, but it's so important. If this mini episode inspired you or motivated you, please share it with another homeschooling parent or any homeschooling groups that you were in. I really appreciate the love. Don't forget to visit my website, secularhomeschoolrevolution.com. I have a new blog post up, and you can also follow me on Instagram, Secular Homeschool Revolution, as well. At the end of the day, guys, I want you to stay revolutionary.